Thanks for having good attendance,
Well,
children.
I'm here on
You
time.
guys both get A's. Everybody else fails. Sorry, everybody else. And welcome to the Popcast Week 3. This is the third week we've been able to do this, which is cool. Keeping something on a consistent schedule for that long already? I can't even do that with my team. I can't even convince my team to get on a practice. We just get on whenever we're on. Do you guys have like set schedules that you like plan to get on and play with people at all?
I was about to
No.
say getting Starwind to come on consistently, but then I was late last week, so I can't say.
Yeah.
I was super inconsistent.
Quick crashing out.
for
Jeez.
sure.
What's up, Alpha?
Yeah.
or like,
Hey,
what's
Explosion.
with that? Very
Uh,
convenient.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe next week, Explosion, I'll
Comcast.
let you know. But yeah, Comcast, I actually had a tornado warning that happened in my my state today, so that was exciting. I thought halfway through the playtest, I'm like, how bad would my luck have to be for like the time that I have like a playtest, it's like a super streamer focused one, that the world's like, nah, bye internet. Like tornado.
Not today.
You don't get to play.
Yeah, my internet was like a scheduled maintenance. It wasn't even like it going out. It was like a pre-planned, scheduled 8-hour maintenance.
8 hours.
That's way too long.
Yeah,
And
they
in
were
the
trying to do
middle
it
of the
like late
day?
at night. It was
Oh,
12
late at
o'clock
night.
How do I...
Yeah,
That's not
midnight.
too bad.
Because we started at 11. And I got kicked halfway,
Can I not
So-
do this? This is a scam.
and they were serious. I stayed up for like another hour or two, and it never came back up.
What
Like,
time did that
okay.
start? Like at 1 o'clock in the morning or midnight?
I think it was
or-
midnight. It went off.
Yeah,
I think it was midnight
Prime.
into 8. Yeah,
prime porn time. They're like, that's okay.
Prime
that's not the
porn
important
time.
stuff."
It's not important.
Alright, for some reason I can't put chat on my
I
wrist.
think peak porn
So-
watching ends at like 1 a.m. So they should have gave everybody an extra hour. I mean, I certainly needed an extra 2 hours.
For porn.
That's
Yeah, I
impressive.
know.
Because- well, no, the podcast was what was
Right.
pushing the porn back.
Oh,
so that's
gotcha,
why I
gotcha.
needed The extra hour.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
I only need like 15 seconds. You got, I speed run. I'm a speed runner, okay? You gotta get done as quickly as possible. All right. Well, let's see. We got to try out the 6v6v6, the V6, the Legions mode today. What did you guys think about it? I personally loved it. Like, there's,
Me too.
I had a lot more fun than I thought I would doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was more fun
intense.
than war for sure.
Hmm.
100% more fun.
Oh,
than
yeah.
war.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the rezzing that was going on was just like insane. It really was a challenge to eliminate an entire squad. So what it was about, maybe the second or third game in, it's kind of like, when you go at a squad, you can't back off. You just have
Yeah,
to keep
you
going
have
until
to
you get
rush them.
everybody. Otherwise, they keep rezzing like little cockroaches. Like everybody just keeps coming.
That's what happened in the first game. Like the very first game, we're like, all right, I'm like, all right, guys, Thrill and all the big bucks people, let's take a pod and chill. And Fatal's like, yeah, I jumped already. We're like, okay, I guess we're jumping. So we all jumped behind him, and then Philip managed to get away, but we were basically dying the whole way. But we managed to win that game just because we weren't able to get fully wiped at any point in time.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
really, really cool to see like that dynamic. I'm excited for when it goes live next week for sure.
Yeah,
that was a lot
it'll
of
be
fun.
different once there's blueberries in there, randoms.
Mhm.
So we'll see
Yeah.
how it plays
Blueberries.
in, because it's like a group of people that mostly all knew what they were doing, or like a mix. They were like trying to be balanced. So
Yeah, it'll
I'm
probably
sure
try
it'll
to
still be really
matchmake
fun,
it.
though.
It'll probably try to put the like squads. Well, it might actually be super good because the way matchmaking works right now is you have a squad of like 3 hyper sweats, and if they get put in a lobby, they're either going to be against a couple other teams of hyper sweats, or people just playing with their friends. But with this mode, you can only queue as 3. So even if you're a team of 3 hyper sweats, they might like matchmake you with like the lowest people it can find to try to balance it out. So it might
So
actually
you
be good.
can't queue up if you're by yourself.
You can't queue up as 6, right? But you can queue up as
Oh,
3.
okay, yeah.
Like you can't have a full 6 everybody. So,
Right.
but it should still be fun to see how that dynamic works when it goes live. And then I didn't get to see any of the rewards or anything that happened. I mean, you got to see I guess like the Robin Hood Millie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think she's like Lionheart.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
and then
she had cool sneakers.
The
Yep.
cool
I
sneakers.
liked her
And then the
shoes a lot.
one that Kitty had on, that was my favorite. Like the sorceress.
Yeah, I've been
or
waiting for
whatever
that one.
She was. That one was really cool. That one's gonna be my favorite with like the purple gems and the little leggings on it was really cool. Oh, and then did you see the drops? They had 350 bombs and 3 gold weapons.
So it was dependent on the mode because that's how war worked. So the first couple of games, I think they set it up as normal squads,
Oh.
and then when they changed it, that's why we weren't like the two platforms weren't on the same side. But like the war mode has like three weapons and it has a couple of different things. So, but yeah.
Ooh. What do you think it's going to be then for the final version?
I don't
that comes
know.
Out? Do you think it's going to have the bigger loot like that? Because that was, I mean, when you
Yeah,
have
probably.
6 people,
Yeah.
you really need more than just, otherwise everyone's going to be fighting over that drop.
Was it the exact same as War, or was it more?
I didn't see the drop in any of the games. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't remember.
That was mostly dead.
They give you extra loot in War. I'm wondering, how many weapons was it?
So I distinctly remember 350 bombs and 3 gold weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much ammo and bananas and stuff there was.
I don't remember. I think that it was 3 in War, but I don't know if it was 350 shields too. But maybe.
I personally
Definitely 3 weapons in War though.
I played War so little that I couldn't tell you. I'm gonna be honest. Like anytime we played War, we just try to meme it. So
I didn't like War until like they actually changed a whole bunch of stuff in there, where they changed the spawns and different things in there.
yeah,
It started to get fun
super
from time to
ultra
time, and then it
advanced
would
war
get
mode.
boring. Yeah, super duper ultra advanced war mode.
Dude, Lucas says, "Love you,
But
Sky.
it
Love
does
you,
always eventually
Sumatchi."
get kind of boring.
You talk about the event points, yeah. So to my knowledge, the way that the event points is going to work is like the Hollow Hattie worked, where like the top 10% of players get the skin at the very end. So it's going to do like the bronze, silver, gold, diamond thing. Where if you play a significant amount, you're going to like get the higher tier skins. So that's how the points work. You don't actually like earn points. You more like earn rank for your stats, and then based on how you place at the end of the event, it'll be like what items you unlock.
That's going to be interesting to see, because the first time they did the Hattie event, that was a long time ago. Now we're like, what, 8-9 months into it? There's a much larger player base, but there's also a lot more people that are playing. So I wonder if it's going to be harder for people to hit that top 10% than it was when they ran that first event.
It wasn't hard initially, I don't think so.
Yeah. My logic with the Hollow Hattie or the Hattie skin and everything was just like if you played, you were basically going to get the skin. Is what it seemed like.
Guaranteed to get it. You just had to play.
So what we can do this time, and I'd like to start doing this maybe every time we start, because we kind of have some different people on. We can go by and kind of introduce ourselves, and if you guys have a social media or something that you want people to try to find you on, you can go ahead and just let anybody watching know where they can find you. If Skycandy, if you want to go ahead and go first.
Sure, I'm Skycandy. You can find me at Skycandy_VR on Twitch, which also will link you to my YouTube. I play mainly Pop 1, but I also play some other VR games as well.
I'm StarwindVR. I post on YouTube and TikTok, stream on Twitch, and I usually roleplay as PJ when I'm playing on Pop 1.
I'm Sumatchi. I mostly do a lot of my streaming on Twitch. I upload to YouTube. I got TikTok and Twitter as well. Mostly Pop 1 content, but anytime there's a new VR game, I'll try to cover it.
I'm RezoByte. I do almost all my streaming on Twitch. I upload some things to Twitter from time to time, and I like to cover a lot of like VR beta content and things like that, as well as VR chat.
Right on. And I think something that's interesting to note is all 4 of us are, and this is kind of why I wanted to get this particular group together for this week, is all 4 of us are kind of trying out the VTuber, the avatar thing specific. Like we're not using a camera, we're using an avatar when we're doing any sort of streaming. Now I think you have like the infrared camera that people can turn on, but have you noticed like a change in viewership based on like live camera versus avatar camera or anything like that, Starwind?
Yeah, I had a big bump in viewership when I switched.
Okay.
I actually did. I don't think any of y'all did IRL cam. You did some, Sumatchi.
A long time ago I did some, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else here did IRL cam beforehand though. But yeah, it was a pretty big jump in viewership, honestly.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to represent yourself. Like if you can find someone to make the avatar, or if you make the avatars yourself, you can kind of shape it to whatever you want it to be, which is really cool. Have you noticed anything? Because I know you used a couple of different avatars and you're kind of swapping around right now, but have you noticed any difference in viewership or anything?
You mean from not using an
Yeah,
avatar to using an avatar?
Yeah, from not using one, or have you noticed any comments or differences?
Yeah, I think so because like a lot of my body movements are translated by using an avatar. So like, I remember when I was doing those pod pulls and pulling the pod pulls, like, you can see me like double over with laughter and I can turn around and like interact with the audience. I kind of started out with the avatar pretty early, probably a few weeks into streaming because I felt like I still wanted to get that connection and I just wasn't getting it when there was nothing on the screen, but having the avatar to help relay that information. I like to switch my avatars up a lot. I think to me they feel like clothes. So I'll kind of have an avatar for maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and then the last week I'll be like, I'm kind of bored of this avatar. I want to find a new one. So I don't know if I'm ever going to settle on one that I keep for a while, which I think would be nice because I think it would be nice to have that branding across all the different videos. But at the same time, people will come in and be like, oh, I like the new avatar, and they'll get new props for the avatar. So I feel like it's a way that I can keep my stream fresh and I have different things going on by switching up the avatars and the different props. And when they come in, they never know if they're going to see a new avatar or what.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the trade-off versus like people seeing something new every time versus people being able to easily identify that it's actually you because you're consistent. So that'll be interesting to figure that out. And you started using the PJ stuff. Are you planning on getting Gold Jacket or any of the other skins from the game at any point?
Well, you kind of know what I've done. So I went and started with like the base PJ, which is what I have on now. This one's a little better than what I started with because the face is better. But eventually, when they came out with the sword, I put a sword in his hand, did a sword type thing. And then I put a cowboy hat on him when they came out with cowboy PJ. And then now that we have armored PJ, I got PJ all armored out, just like in the game, or somewhat close. And I think people really like I actually have more viewers with armored PJ for some reason. People just like armored PJ. It's been like
it's a consistency
seem to like
thing.
That version of PJ better.
Yeah.
That and the face is there now, and I have a little bit better lighting. I've learned some new tricks in virtual motion capture, so I think having an interesting looking avatar is important. And like changing it up and doing things, just kind of keeping things interesting. I mean, Sumatchi knows I'm working on something other than PJ, so that I'll have more of a personal representation. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think having the avatars definitely helped me personally out a lot. I plan on getting mine updated a little bit, so it'll be a little bit different soon. But I think it's helped a ton, and especially with the branding aspect, like what we were talking about, it helps people be like, "Oh, you're the cringe furry wolf thing." I was like, "Yep, that's me. Easy, you know, easy as that." And
it's like you're literally the guy from the game.
Yeah, and you made the textures or the retexturing for that one, right? And you've done a bit of that. Did you ever stream with a camera or anything?
No, I never did. I started with this. It was actually the first texture that I made, the first avatar I uploaded before I really knew what I was doing. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's done really well.
That's your first avatar? Mine would be like a stick figure with a lollipop.
I didn't do the modeling, but I did the texturing.
Started with a base, yeah.
Now, do you think
really good?
Do you think that if you haven't ever streamed with a camera, did you stream before you had an avatar to go off, or did you start streaming when you had one?
I started streaming after I started streaming in March of this year, and so it was after I joined VR Chat and after I uploaded this.
Okay, so you've like the whole time basically been able to apply that brand. So we got all sorts of like people that started halfway, people that used to use a camera. We got it all, so we'll be able to let chat and everybody know, how to min-max their stream if they ever get to that point. Go this method; it might work the best. But let's go ahead and we can get back into the Pop 1 side of things. Overall, how does the game feel for you guys right now in terms of balance or just like bugs and stuff?
I mean, everything feels super balanced for the most part. We know there's like the Seiko and a couple other things, but I still wish they changed stuff between seasons just to keep it a little more interesting than just having the new castle. But at the same time, I mean, even somebody that was playing today at the playtest, they were like, "Oh, we can go on the tower." Like they haven't even played. That's
Yeah.
who I had on my team. Yeah, I know.
Sheesh.
Wow.
I'm like,
Well, I do know.
It'd be cool for them to change around a bunch of the like numbers or like the recoil or the damage numbers every once in a while, just to spice it up a little.
Just to
Yeah, I'm
mix it up.
sure
They
they'll do
should
something
probably
with the
just
ump
roll a
soon,
dice and do
just 'cause
that.
people
Yeah,
keep
that'd be
asking.
interesting.
I think something definitely needs to happen with the ump because pretty much everybody hates it. They won't touch it, and I know that it seems like whenever they see a weapon that's not getting used, they do something.
More casual
change
players
it and
use
mix
it,
it
and
up.
they do well with it. I've seen, I don't know if you ever seen Kel stream.
Mm-mm.
She plays sometimes, but she'll actually use the ump from really far away, and they're like super casual players, and the ump has like no recoil, and they're able to actually get kills pretty far away with the ump. And it couldn't do that with a P90 just because it's skill level. So
Oh,
it has its
yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People that aren't as sweaty do use it.
I think it'll be. I think the overall state's pretty good right now. I know Rezo has probably less than 30 hours in the game personally. When you were actually playing the game, like what was your thoughts on like how balanced it felt or how the games? Because you and I tried to play a little bit, and the matchmaking for the game actually provided. It showed that if you try to pair a high skill level person with someone that hasn't played a whole lot, it'll actually try to match make based on the highest skill in the group. So I actually had to end up being like, oh yeah, I can't join you because I don't want you to have super high tier games. What did you think about the game overall? How did it feel as someone who doesn't play religiously?
It's definitely fun when like you're in like a Discord call and things like that with friends. So the first time, actually the only times I'd played it were on stream. We hadn't played it outside of stream yet. So each time it was not really like a private lobby, but it was people that I invited in. So it's pretty fun. It's something you can pick up. You can either play for 20 minutes or 20 hours if you wanted to.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yeah.
20 minutes. I don't think I've ever done a session.
Well, it's nice to have a game where the games only last, maybe
That
15
is
minutes
true, though.
max. Like if
Yeah.
you commit to a game like League of Legends or any other battle royale, like Apex, it's going to be like 35 to 45 minutes to finish a game if you're placing, at the top 5. But those games are so long, whereas Population 1's 10 minutes. Of course, they have to account for
You
Quest
can-
battery life because you can play it on the Quest,
Yeah.
but
Pop out during lunch.
And for
grab
for a lot of people,
games.
getting 20, 30 hours out of a game is most of what they're
Oh,
asking
yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Usually people feel pretty okay about a game if they played it for that long. It's usually if you play a game for like an hour or two and then you don't play it anymore, that's kind of a different story.
I get you. And as for the Legions event, that'll go live, I think, probably a Thursday morning. But other than that, there wasn't a patch this morning, so not a whole lot else to talk about Pop 1 specifically. So we can start talking about any other VR topics that you guys want to talk about, any VTubing stuff. We can talk about Zenith a little bit. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, did you play Zenith at all,
I picked it up
Skycandy?
recently.
I have not, but I'd be interested to hear about it.
Yeah, so I know Starwind, me, and Rezo all played Zenith, so we can talk about that or any other upcoming VR titles. Me personally, I have not heard like an advertisement for like this VR game's coming out in like a month. I'm like, oh, like I haven't heard any advertisements for any VR games lately. Have you guys heard anything or like any new games coming out? I haven't personally heard anything.
I've noticed
I mean,
VR
there's
titles
still
tend to
a lot
not
of
be as
hype
heavily
for-
advertised.
Yeah, definitely. Well, a lot of them are like indie games or small teams. They're not AAA, but I feel like there should still be like the most I see is like if I browse Reddit and there's hey, I'm making a VR game, like maybe come check, or it just went live or something. I haven't personally heard anything other than that though, or like any games people were excited about. I haven't heard a whole ton. Oh, Pistol Whip just got an update, which should be pretty fun.
Oh, I heard about that. Whatever happened with Larcenauts? I felt like that was like the big thing for a while. And
Some people still play it.
It
It's gotten updates. It's better than it.
it had a rough launch and it's had a couple updates, but it's there's just a couple of mechanics that make it I don't even know. It's not that it's not fun. I think it's just that there's a lower number of people that play it, and that's why people gravitate towards Pop One or VR Chat or
For me, it's the
Pavlov.
bots. The bots kill it for me.
Yeah, same. If you join a lobby,
honestly,
it'll fill the other team with
bots kill
bots. If like there's no one else in the game, so you're just playing against bots.
And
like,
I think there's a big enough
game-
player
game.
base for them not to have bots, honestly.
I
Because when I
hate
get
that.
on, I usually do get people. It's just the way that you have to like leave the lobby to get your loot.
Mhm.
It makes you it makes people start matches and then immediately leave. Because every match I play, I see people leaving and joining, leaving and joining, leaving and joining. And I'm just like, and then some of those, so then it puts bots in. You're playing with half bots. Every game I play of that, it just feels like not fair. Like you never are playing a fair match where you start out with two teams of people and going at it. It's just so rare.
Yeah,
That's what kind of killed it for me.
I think figuring out all the little things, and I'd kind of say that sort of stuff is little things, like in a VR game or making any game. You want to make sure that the little things aren't frustrating or they're intuitive. You know, being able to open your loot boxes at the end of a game without like completely backing out or something. I mean, even in the lobby for that, there's only like one remote control where only one person could open their stuff at the same time. And the reasoning for it is, I think,
Yeah.
because you can have multiple people like all join your lobby, so it doesn't want to like break
Yeah.
anything. But
Once I realized the remote, as stupid as it was actually like essential. I'm like, oh.
mhm, yeah,
Literally everybody that reviewed that game was like, "Why is the remote here?"
yeah. It's so weird though, because it's like that seems like a dumb mechanic, and then like once you understand it, you're like, I understand it, but I still think it's dumb. Like it's
right.
like there should just be a different way to do this.
Like a totally different way. Yeah.
Zenith has, like, we can go to Zenith now for a bit, but Zenith has a lot of things in place that just feel good to use. Like, you know, you open your inventory, grab something out of your inventory, bam, it's in your hand. Like, it has a lot of, like, stuff that just feels good to do. A lot of very good VR mechanics. I still think Population 1 has better flying, but you can always improve on stuff. Zenith's still been in alpha this whole time, so. But Zenith was pretty good overall, I think. A little bit more variety in the spells or things you could do would be nice. Because once you hit like level 8, you have everything that your class can do, or like level 10. And there's 40 levels in the alpha, so it's doing the same stuff for 30 more levels.
Yeah.
Did you get more than one character maxed, Rezo, or just?
So during the first alpha, I got 2 characters maxed, and then I didn't fully max any characters during this previous alpha, but I got one to like mid to high 20s, and then another one to like 19, and then I tried like one more class that they had, and I think I got that one to like 18 or 15.
Do you see? I've always wondered this. Do you think that some of the players that are playing a lot now, because like there's gonna be another alpha or another beta, there's gonna be a couple more, and it's gonna be the same content but just ever expanded each time. Do you think by the time the full game comes out, you're gonna feel like you've just played the shit out of it?
At least for the first portion, they did add 4 new areas to the overall map
Mm-hmm.
in this alpha. Now, not all of it had quests or things like that you can actually do there, but they at least added those areas and added some NPC stand-ins and things like that. So within 2.5 months, they were able to do all that. It's pretty good. So I have hope that there's gonna be a lot more content when the full game releases.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did add a lot, like the cooking and
The cooking was really
they added new
cool.
classes.
I know
They added a
Z-Storm
lot.
just
That was
spent
my
like
favorite part of the day.
Z-Storm just had like a stream where he just bought as many ingredients as he could and just went and collected ingredients, and he literally spent like 3 hours just making stuff. I don't know if he was in the tavern or what, but he just like cooked for like 3 hours. It's
No.
like, jeez.
It was really well done.
Yeah, I think it was really well
It was
done.
surprisingly well done. Yeah.
My favorite part was
Like,
the knife that
seeing
would
the
actually
chopping and
slice the
everything,
ingredients
was-
where you sliced it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that
they had a
was
really good way to
good
do
touch.
that. I'm excited to see the other, because I think it was like blacksmithing was announced that would be added, I think, as well. And some of the other things, it'll be
It
cool
seems
to
like
see.
they had a little inspiration from Township Tale.
I was just gonna ask
little
if
bit,
it was
yeah.
similar to that. Yeah.
It's
Some
like-
elements
it's
feel
not as
similar.
deep.
Blacksmithing.
Yeah, it's not as deep, but it shouldn't be as deep because Township Tale is like they don't tell you shit. Like you're literally just sitting here looking at like rocks. You're like, what do I do?
That's kind of how Minecraft was when it came out, though. Like, if you got Minecraft when it came
Sure.
out, like 10 years ago, oh, Jesus, Minecraft came out like 10 years ago. Yeah, okay. Okay.
MMOs aren't that good.
But Minecraft, when you load it in, you're like, all right, what do I do?
Exactly what to do.
Yeah, you had to look up
Yeah.
all the recipes online. You're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, there was no explanation, and then like I think at that point they didn't even have like some of the resources you have in game now that tells you how to make stuff.
Are there actually stuff that helps you out now? There's actually like
I think
recipes and stuff.
there's- Well, it's been a couple years that I played, but I think you can have a book to where like once you make something, it's like it's in there and you can just go reference it. But I'm
Oh.
not sure on that. It may be a mod or something though.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just remember like the wiki page where you'd have to go to figure out how to build everything.
Yeah.
And then there was an end of the game, but no one knew how to get there. Like that was another cool thing. Like right when a game comes out, it's really cool to see, and this is what I think a lot of people were hoping when WoW Classic got released. People are like, "Oh, I remember World of Warcraft being so good." Like right when it came out. And I think the reason is because everybody sucked at the game. It wasn't about min-maxing. It was just about socializing, chilling, and like progressing through the game. But now that, it got re-released and everybody knows how to min-max everything, everybody's like, this isn't as fun as I remember having to grind this area for 63 hours straight. VR is such a new medium that like a lot of the mechanics are so new, right? There's no way to like how to min-max stuff incredibly good in VR. So I think that's a really cool aspect. It's a new medium and therefore there's not like super, I don't know, intensive guides or like how to do everything absolutely perfect yet. And I think that's the reason that a lot of people got into Pop
so
1.
different in Pop 1.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's so many different playstyles in Pop 1, it's crazy.
And a lot of people were saying,
It's not all one meta per se.
a lot of people would say that Pop 1 is, their first VR game. Or like, I didn't even play games before this, and then they'd spend a ton of time in VR. And I think Zenith will probably be the same way. Or like, I didn't play games, and I just
True,
thought that
yeah.
this would be like a way to socialize and hang out. And I think we'll get to the
I think
point
people
where
the
that'll
same
be
way with
really
VR
cool.
chat. I think there's a lot of people that they never played games and they played like desktop VR chat, and I think some people get into VR that way,
Mhm.
literally just through VR chat.
I
They
think
go
Yeah.
from no gaming to desktop to VR.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that the next step for the majority of VR games is going to be, I was saying this on stream earlier, but the exact stuff that happens with Risk of Rain 2 and GTFO and Valheim, where there's like a game that comes out that works on flat screen, but you can also do a mod to play it in VR. Like Risk of Rain, you can play with people that aren't in VR. And I think that there needs to be way more games that you can do that. Like Rec Room, you can do that.
Yeah.
VR Chat, you can do that. It gets more complicated for shooter games because how do you balance that, right? But in general, if there was a way to like have more games that could do that, that'd be, I think, the way to get people into VR, because they'd have it, and if they became super passionate about the game, they'd be like, oh, well, I want to, spend all this money to be able to get more into the VR aspect of it.
Does it give the flat screeners an advantage though? Because I've heard people in Rec Room complaining about like the flat screeners playing because they're like, oh, it gives them more of an advantage, or
I don't personally know. It's going to be one of those things for a long time. Like if they brought a shooter, like if someone made a shooter that was in VR and not in VR, there's going to be an advantage for flat screeners for a long time.
Rec Room, kind of.
True.
Right, but do they have an advantage because they actually have an advantage? Or do they have an advantage because some of the people playing FPS and like the FPS genre as a whole has been shaped on flat screen for 25 years? So you're going to have people that have played, shooters for 20 years versus people that are like their first year in VR. So no matter what, there's going to be like a skill difference.
Sci-Fi?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's one of the... Yeah, he plays mostly just Rec Room on stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He does both desktop and VR. I'll probably ask him. He might know. But I would think, kind of like mouse and keyboard. Everybody says the people with mouse have an advantage. In reality, they don't always. Maybe in Fortnite they do. But if you look in a game like Halo or Destiny, where it's like balanced around it, they don't have an advantage really.
Yeah.
Yeah, certain games like that, you can have an advantage with a controller.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the aim assist, and a lot of games you can't turn that off.
Right.
But
Yeah, it's either. Go ahead.
although with the VR versus desktop thing, there's always gonna be one component, and that's like mouse acceleration and like DPI speed and stuff like that, to where someone with a mouse will always be able to turn just a bit faster than someone's physical body. So there will always be that, but unless someone's just really, really quick about whipping their waist around.
True.
But so there will be some component to it. So at a certain point, it'll start to like scale a lot higher for those on a mouse. But
Yeah, there might be a way
to a point, it'll be fairly even.
There might be a way to balance it out where like mouse and keyboard is going to be faster because you can flick your wrist and hit a headshot. But like it'll be quicker, but maybe VR will be better because you can see way more of the world, or you can like just peek like the corner of your head over because you have the ability to actually peek over and shoot at the same time. So I think there might be some way to balance like the mechanics versus the. I think we're still quite a ways around any game needing to have that done. Like there's no competitive, or there's very little competitive VR stuff right now, or at least anything that's taken super seriously. Right now, it's a very much a social thing.
Star Wars Squadrons
Mm-hmm.
was cross everything. You could do POTUS, you could do mouse and keyboard, you could do VR, you could do controller, and what the hell?
No more chair.
No more chair.
Yeah, I played with people that were on controller.
Chair.
I used a throttle and a joystick and everything. But
I did too, but everybody was actually. It all worked out way better than you would expect. That's all I would say. Everybody played together, and it didn't feel unbalanced. Everything felt fine. So.
Now, is that because
people had the advantage more so for being able to look around? And
Yeah.
being able to aim better.
Yeah, you could definitely look
couldn't,
around while flying.
Exactly, and then the people on system, they had to hit a button to see the back or let go to see the front. As opposed to I'm just literally 360 anytime I want.
That was one thing that actually got me into VR. So I was at PAX South one year, and they had a demo of Elite Dangerous in VR, and I think they had it set up on like a DK2, and that was my first time in VR, and I played a lot of like aerial combat games or space combat games, and being able to actually look behind and see, oh wait, there actually is a small window back there you can look through. That's kind of what hooked me on VR.
Elite Dangerous was my first experience in VR as well, because I was working to get my pilot's license, and I was like, well, you can get all the stuff for flight simulation and then just play in VR, and I like would use that to get better. So the very first game I got to play in VR was Elite Dangerous, where you just set everything up and play on flat screen. You're like, oh, this looks pretty good. The graphics are nice, but like Star Wars Squadrons or this game, like when you like warp into a system and there's just like a sun there, I'm like, yeah, this is way cooler than I thought it would be. What got you into VR, Starwind?
What got me into VR? Honestly, I think it was Skyrim. I
Skyrim.
was a Skyrim addict, just installing mods and like modding the game more than I would actually play it. And so to like actually go live in that world, not live, but like go into that world that like I almost put together partially. I mean, shit, dude, I never thought I'd be in VR in Skyrim with mods. I think anybody that's super into Skyrim and did it in VR is probably just mind blown every time they get in it. So that was probably it, Skyrim.
How about you, Skycandy?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't really play video games, but I was volunteering with a bunch of kids like at a maker camp where you like work on electronics and do a bunch of stuff like that. And one of the assistants brought in their VR system and the VR headset, so like all the kids were trying it out, and I'm like, oh, that looks kind of cool. And I think they're just doing like Beat Saber and a couple of the free games in Steam. And like I put on the headset and I did not want to give it back to the kids. I was like, oh no, I'm like, this is fun. So I think it was just like Beat Saber and that free game in Steam. I don't know, like the asteroid one. Do you know which one I'm talking about? Like it's in the lab or something. I mean, it was pretty basic, but I was like blown away.
Yeah, I don't know the exact game. I've messed around with a couple of the things in the lab. Bow and arrows feel really good in any game, except for Skyrim, because Skyrim does them weird.
Yeah.
With a mod, they'll fix it.
Yeah, there's a mod to fix it. I couldn't get the mod working. Right now, there's so many good mechanics for VR, but it needs a mod. Like, you can play Risk of Rain 2 in VR, you need a mod. You can play GTFO in VR, you need a mod. Valheim works in VR, you need a mod. You can have actually working bow and arrow, but you need a mod. Like, there's so many things that are so close, and I think the community will build, collision physics. Being able to move the boobies around. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
It's essential for
I know
all
you're jealous.
games.
Years of science went into this technology.
All of the humanity itself, the culmination, is right there.
Right here, yes.
It's the height of our technology.
Yes. This is how far we've come. From drawing on cave walls to jiggling boobies. Let's see.
I think Quiver, have you guys played Quiver? That probably has the best bow mechanics I've ever seen in it.
No.
Phenomenal.
Quiver?
Yeah, you can change like the bow offset, the draw length, how far you pull it back. It has a ton of different settings. And I guess the developer released the like the bow physics as open source. So there are other games that have then taken that and like developed off of that too. Which I
Man.
think it's pretty cool.
We just need.
You're on Index, right, Skycandy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I've noticed Quest, when I tried Quest, I think Quest users in general, they have a pain with bow mechanics because of the way the cameras work. Like once their hand pulls this far back,
Yeah.
Back.
The camera can't
every
see it
time I
anymore.
tried to use bow on Quest, really a pain in the butt. I don't know. They gotta figure out something with that.
So
Except
when
a lot of mixed reality headsets,
Mhm,
like
yeah.
Windows MR, they have that issue too.
That's what I started with, was mixed reality.
Uh.
It was, oh,
The
it was good at the time, but it's.
the time I
As
noticed
got
it
more
the
into
most.
VR, I had to get out of it.
Yeah, the time I noticed it the most was when I got more into competitive, because I started by Elite Dangerous and then I got into Pavlov. I'm like, I want to play a shooter. So I played Pavlov because I was like, what's Counter-Strike in VR? And I was just using like the OG Rift, and I would use the sniper a lot and it'd be great. And then Rift S came out and I was like, ooh, Rift S. I don't need to worry about these base stations that are literally this big and need to sit on my desk in particular angles.
The base stations looked a lot like these.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Just like not as long.
But the issue is, whenever I tried to shoot a sniper, my camera wouldn't be able to pick up my backhand, and I'd lose tracking for a sec. So I needed to get a different headset, or go back to my original, or get an index.
That's why the sniper on Pop 1 works the way it does. You probably already know that.
Yeah. Yep.
Every time people complain, I'm like, well, there's not a better way, unfortunately, for now.
Yeah.
They just
That's,
don't know that.
it's
It
also
doesn't work like
rendering
VR
for the
games.
Quest and stuff. It's way less resources if you just show if you black out the rest of the image and just have like the scope. Because like Pop 1, when you scope in the sniper with two hands, you can't actually see the world around you anymore, right? It blacks everything out. So that's also way
Ever
less
seen people
resources.
run LIV, pull out the sniper scope.
No.
It actually shows the body with no head, and then the black mask of the sniper scope is around the sniper, just floating as they're moving it.
Huh.
It looks ridiculous.
Like they put a sphere with a shader on it or something.
Yeah. It looks just
That's
like
funny.
that. It looks absolutely
That's
ridiculous.
So the devs actually let me know that for every player that is playing, it never actually renders your head. It only renders your body ever, but it'll never actually render your head. So that's probably why the live thing is headless. But for you personally, it
Sometimes
never
you
actually
load
renders
in
your
the lobby.
head.
That's how VR chat
You
works
ever
unless
load
you
in the
can get a
lobby and
meter
your
away.
body's over there and it flies to you like this?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
It's just headless.
Someone I know may have fixed that issue.
The headless
It
issue,
happened
or
really today.
Probably all know. Yeah, for Live.
Oh, for Live.
Yes.
Oh, for
Yeah. So
Live.
if you want to use Live with that third party, I don't know, that third person view, you can.
I don't think pop players like it. I think pop players like the first person view because they can see the shots.
Yep.
That's my personal opinion. When I saw the live people, the LIV people, trying to stream it like that, I'm like, this is not what people are gonna want to watch.
You can't see. Yeah, you can't see. So like if they're shooting someone that's up high, you can't see what they're shooting. All you see is like their back and then like their shots going off, and you can't like see them aiming down the scope or doing any of that kind of stuff.
I think streaming in general for VR has a little bit to go, and I don't know the best way to do it. Like Beat Saber, VR Chat, Pistol Whip all have very good ways to do it because you never move. VR Chat, you can set up a camera, and you're in one place, and this is where the stuff's happening. In Population 1, you want to be in that person's eyes, but their head's shaking all over the place. So like anybody watching is gonna like be like, this I don't even want to watch this. I don't know what's happening. I'm getting sick watching it. Everything's shaky. Camera stabilization is super important for any VR game, I think, for like the viewer. Beat Saber added that, or I don't know if it always had it, but it has it. But people use like the camera behind you anyways, right? But for shooter games, is the best you got like the first person, or is there another way to do it? You can cast things like for Pavlov, you can load up Pav TV and like cast a match like overhead, like they do in Counter-Strike. So you can do that, which is good for like the competitive aspect. But for non-competitive, do you guys think there's a different way you could do it?
You would have to do it to where they had some sort of program that took your image and stabilized it and removed the
shake. Yeah, cameras. I think
like if you just took the middle of it, you could do it. Like if you cropped some of the edges out, where you could probably get some sort of program that could do it, but none of us could probably make it.
AI
Those
could probably do it.
first-person view can be pretty smooth, but I noticed it actually removes some particles. Like in Beat Saber, for instance, you don't see any of the dust in the menu if you're going to first-person live, things like that. So it doesn't render it as you're actually seeing it. So that's
But
one
it does
issue.
in third person live.
I would have to go back and check. I didn't actually check.
I used to stream third person Beat Saber live. That's actually how I started before I played Pop. My first streaming was Beat Saber.
I like.
When was the last time you played Beat Saber?
There's been a
It's
couple
been
updates.
It's been a while. Yeah,
Beat Saber
it's
stream.
been probably 2 months.
It-
I'm gonna
you-
do Beats. Oh, dude.
Skycandy plays Beat Saber. Let's just get everybody to
I'm
play
gonna
Beat
do
Saber.
some more Beat Saber streams when I get
Riders.
my own avatar.
I still haven't played Synth Riders. Isn't that PSVR?
Neither have I.
No, it's like Beat Saber, but it's VR. But the thing about it is, well, I guess
It's
Beat
like
Saber
Beat
supports
Saber, but it's
multiplayer
VR.
now,
Wait.
but it's better. I
don't think it's what she meant. That's what she said.
Is that what I said? I mean,
No, it's
you know,
fine.
yeah, it's no, I really like it. It reminds me more like of dancing. Like the best feeling, or the best way I could describe it is like you ever stick your hand out the window and kind of do that, you know, like play with the wind. That's kind of like
That's
what
exactly
Synth
what it looks
Riders
like.
is. They have all these different rails that you can ride, and the multiplayer is really cool. It's kind of like Mario Kart. You can throw challenges at people, so you know, you might have like some asteroids shooting at you, or it'll change the size of the balls that are coming at you. So you can basically mess with people while you're playing, like Mario Kart style. So I think the multiplayer on it's off the charts compared to Beat Saber.
Yeah, Beat Saber
Beat
multiplayer
Saber
is...
multiplayer has a lot of problems.
Yeah, and...
So Synth Riders is not too different from RezoByte that we played the other night. It's just
Okay.
you have multiple levels and you have curving notes and things like that.
I gotcha.
But it's very similar to that.
I mean,
Is that the anime one? It's like anime themed.
RezoByte's in VR chat.
RezoByte, yes. You have like 6 lanes and you have to like hit the notes with your hands as they're coming through, things like that.
Okay, yeah.
It's similar to Synth Riders, but you don't have notes that can vary in height and things like that.
But going to the VR side of streaming, another thing that becomes an issue for any sort of music games is like DMCA. Like if it's copyrighted music,
Yeah.
Oh,
like what am I allowed to play on stream or play on multiplayer? Like a lot of people, if you mod it, you either have to have a playlist like you did, or you'd not stream it or only play OST, right? So like that's a whole nother argument is DMCA.
Even
and...
OST sometimes on. I used to stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And when I first started doing Beat Saber streaming on all 3 platforms, I had really crazy viewership on Facebook, like 50 to 100 people sometimes. And it all would just get shut down by Facebook because of DMCA. And eventually, I think they kind of just shadow banned my Facebook account from like too many. Like basically the way Facebook works, they'll actually end your stream live. Like imagine you're playing
Oh.
Beat Saber and you look at your stream and it says your stream's ended for copyright.
Oh.
Like
Wow.
it was
Wow.
rough.
I don't mess around, huh?
I think there's a more graceful way to handle
That's
that.
why I don't mess with Facebook much anymore.
Yeah, it's fair. I've streamed to Facebook a couple times, and it's I figured since like the majority of Population 1 plays on a Quest or an Oculus, that streaming to Facebook would be good because they already have a Facebook account, because you have to have a Facebook account to play on the Quest. It seems like it would be pretty quick growth, and I know Facebook's doing a lot to try to get their gaming stuff off the ground. But I mean, Mixer tried to be another Twitch and is not dead, but it's pretty much dead. I mean, we could stream to OnlyFans. I was thinking about that. Let's just stream gaming.
No,
Let's stream it to
totally
OnlyFans.
dead. It's like dead.
VR chat.
Yeah, the whole platform's gone.
Is it gone?
It's like,
Oh, jeez.
it's not kind of dead. It's
Oh, I
dead.
didn't even know.
It's just gone.
Jeez.
Yeah, all services halted.
Oh, jeez. You can also stream to, let's see, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, OnlyFans. Right? So should we just make a gaming channel for OnlyFans? That might be
I mean,
funny.
you can probably stream
That'd be a
straight to
meme.
the hub if you wanted.
Call it only games.
Yeah, only games. Only pop.
Only games. I mean, Twitch, at this point, Twitch is not just games, so that might be.
Oh, yeah,
True.
hot tubs.
True, they're doing the whole hot.
OnlyFans brought the hot tub here.
Yeah.
We need to bring the games over there.
There's
Get a
art
good mix.
categories, there's makeup categories, there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Twitch
On
makes
O-
more
on
money
OnlyFans?
off them
On
than
Twitch.
us, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
on Twitch.
So,
Yeah, there's so many categories on Twitch now.
they make more money off hot tubs than they do.
Than they do on VR.
VR chat.
Rip.
Surprised I haven't seen a hot tub company ad yet.
I know, right? You would think that people would be buying hot tubs. With all the
Yeah.
hot tub streams.
You also want to be a hot tub streamer? Buy a hot tub. Or buy a kiddie pool or whatever they do the hot tubs in.
I like how it became
Comes
such a
with a
meme
spin
that
wheel.
everybody
Comes with
did
the
a hot tub
banana,
stream.
Comes with the
Sumatchi
whiteboard.
did a hot tub stream.
Oh, yeah.
We've both done hot tub streams. Have you done a hot tub stream, Rizzo?
Technically no, but Warframe released a their beach event that they do every year, and for my avatar I added floaties and like pool noodles and stuff. And
That's
my
close.
viewers asked for it to be a hot tub stream, so I went on Google and found the first picture of a hot tub that was the right angle, quickly cropped it out in GIMP and slapped it on stream behind me. So kinda, yeah, technically.
Hot tub stream. We're all hot tub streamers.
It was kind of Sumatchi
in
was a little bit
desktop.
like that.
Yeah, I got help from
That's
That's
Z-Storm.
on my
Put into it.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, Z-Storm helped me out a lot with that.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there's
Put on my
always people in
LinkedIn
VR,
profile,
not
hot tub
always, but there's people in
streamer.
VR chat that'll pull out their hot tub avatar
Yeah.
Oh.
at any point now.
Yeah, or just go to
Surprised
any
I
of the
never
worlds.
uploaded mine to VR chat.
Yeah, do it. That might be a good idea. You can just go
Yeah.
hang out in a hot tub or in a pool and go under the
Yeah.
hot tub category and just sit there and chill. That's a good idea.
Probably
I
could.
want to do a PNG Pager avatar.
Pager. So like the 2D,
But
you
it's
just
a
want to
PNG.
upload it as a 2D.
Yeah, yeah, but with legs and everything. Like have it.
Don't
have
give
an
it
artist
legs.
make, like a full size
Oh
one.
no, I
Pager
don't
needs
want to
legs.
think about that.
Pager- Should both legs be straight, or should she have like one crooked leg?
Make the legs. I don't know, man. I think
They gotta
the
be like
the point of Spoderman or Pager is
stretchy.
that it's.
Pager needs
I don't know.
stretchy legs.
I
like
don't know.
That's a
the
good
what's
idea.
like the Gumby, like the Gumby.
Yeah, I can make it where the
legs.
PNG just can, like it has an animation where it stretches.
Just make it roll.
This is-
Doesn't even need legs. Just make it roll.
It's 2D. How's it gonna roll?
Yeah, just make it turn in
It would
circles.
just flop.
Flop.
It would just...
Set it up on a
It's-
plane with
it's
some
not-
dynamic bones, so it like curls up into a cylinder.
That's a good idea.
Or just like make it turn into a sphere. Like paste it on a sphere and then let it roll
There you
around.
go.
Like he just curls himself up like paper into a ball.
Yes. Let's see. Any other topics? Any VR games? There is Everslot that came out a week or two ago. There's also Walkabout Mini Golf, which I haven't had a chance to try out yet, but I've heard good things about.
Oh yeah,
I've heard that's
I've
good.
heard
about it.
People love
more
their
than a
mini
few
golf in
times.
VR,
It's
surprisingly.
fun.
Everslot looked like
Good time.
the new Doom games, except you get a sword and a grappling hook. And it's in VR. It's a single player. What other good single player VR games do you guys know of? I spend all of my time in multiplayer almost. Half-Life Alyx is
Single
one of the only ones I
player.
finished.
I mean, everybody knows Boneworks. I actually just
Boneworks
recently
is
beat it.
alright.
Yeah.
Had a cool ending.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot that I would try, but why would I spend money on something that only gives you a finite amount of stuff you can do, right? A multiplayer game you can play forever.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I still personally, I've always been a really big single player game person.
Even in VR.
Uh,
You
yeah.
think?
Yeah, I mean, I have a stupid. I literally have like 100 something games. Like, I have way too many VR games.
Walkabout's fun, nice. Oh, hey, Ocean.
Because they're so cheap. You know, you can wait till a Steam sale. Like, so many of them I got for $1. You know, over years.
Yeah.
So.
I'm sad about how many VR games never get finished. Like you see the pre-alpha gameplay that looks super promising, and then you don't hear about it ever again. You're like, oh,
Fizzles
someone
out.
uploads a look at what I've been working on, and nothing ever happens. Right.
Yeah, the Steam page sits for like a year, and then there's no more updates, and then another year later, it's gone from the Steam store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Veil will be coming out, which is going to be a competitive shooter, so that'll be exciting when that comes out. It's been in alpha for a while. I'm trying to think of anything else upcoming that I've heard
Has
about.
it changed much since I played it?
Just a little bit of balance stuff, a couple maps, a new mode that's basically like search and destroy. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that was announced or anything else at all that I've heard of.
Does
got a Deca
Battlefield
move
sound
recently.
familiar? I thought I heard someone talking about.
There's a Halo and a Battlefield coming out, but they're not for VR. It'd be cool if we got a VR mod. I heard someone was working on a Halo VR mod. That'd be interesting.
They did, and unfortunately, Microsoft had it shut down. But
They hired the guy, right?
343 actually hired them.
Yeah.
They actually hired him. And
I heard about
the short
that.
clip that I saw, it looked really good. Like it looked like the control looked really, really good.
Well, if something like that gets finished, even if it's just like a short thing, right? Like a couple missions, I think that'll still be cool. At least gets people interested in a VR. How did you get more people interested in VR, right? I think having the split, you can play this game on VR or not in VR. I think that's good. But how else do you get people interested in VR?
I think getting
Large
non
franchises.
VR is pretty important.
Yeah. Any, like, Half-Life Alyx was a big
And
one,
consoles.
for sure.
Alex is the reason that the Index was sold out for 9 months.
True. And Medal of Honor, AAA,
PlayStation
but
5
also wasn't good. Or at least at release. It might be good now.
That's
but...
not a big enough brand either nowadays.
But it was made by Respawn.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, Call of Duty.
Consumers don't know what Medal of Honor is. They
Yeah.
have no idea.
Just need the
Like,
name.
honestly, they don't.
So you just need
Like
the
Medal of
name.
Medal of Call
Yeah.
of Duty.
Mm.
I think too, just making the headset look better. Because I used to have, before COVID, I used to have parties and people would come over and like they seriously did not want to put on the headset and like flail around because they thought
Yep.
it would look
Yeah.
stupid. And I know it's kind of a silly thing, but people think like, oh, you just look silly when you play VR. So they literally just don't even want to try it. So if they
Yeah.
could like make the headsets not as bulky, or just make it, I don't know, make you not look like an idiot running around with a big ass.
I think people dream of like
VR
having
headset.
glasses VR. You know, like where it's just
Yeah.
glasses.
They're getting better.
Yeah, I don't think it'll ever quite get there. I mean, you'll have AR where you can like walk down the street and have cool stuff happening. Or like, your glasses will be telling you stuff while you're making a sandwich at home on your Oculus kitchen table or whatever there will be in the future. We already have fridges now, right? Smart fridges, smart
Yeah.
toilets. I don't know what's going to come next, but I don't think it'll ever quite get that small for VR.
I think as far as
I'm really
getting-
surprised. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You haven't talked as much as I have.
Starwind has a big
I'm really
mess.
surprised that some. I'm really surprised that some companies haven't tried to locate some of the more bulky components, but more in like a planar design instead of a stack design elsewhere on the headset. Say, like for most VR headsets, you have a static strap, and the sides don't get hit very much. The back and the front will be the ones that get hit the most. So I haven't seen where you might take like a couple layers of a PCB and put it on, an extra strengthened piece of the headset and try to balance it, things like that. So there's probably plenty of things they could do. I know one of Valve's latest patents, they're moving some of the components to the back of the neck.
Mm-hmm.
So at least they're looking into it. But I think it'll take some of that getting smaller and just chips getting smaller in general.
I think the full body tracking too needs to be streamlined, because now in order to do full body tracking, you need like the most common system. You have to get the base stations, you have to get the trackers. I mean, you're looking at like what, $500 to $800 for full body tracking. And I know there's some solutions that are coming out that are supposed to be more streamlined and not rely on all of that. But I think with full body tracking,
The slime trackers.
is that what it is? I mean, I've seen like 2 or 3 that look promising.
Yeah, they're not very accurate, but they're still early. But
Yeah.
most of what I know about it was from Thrill's video that he covered over it, but it looked
Right.
pretty decent, and for something that takes that much work to set up and it's low price, it's not too bad. But
Yeah,
Have you seen the
Thrill does a
cell
really good job with his
versions?
videos.
Full body
have.
tracking where you use cell phones. Yeah.
yeah, one of my friends in VR chat uses an old Android phone for his hip tracker and uses PlayStation Move controllers for his feet.
Wow.
Like just tape them to his shoes, yeah.
Is
and
he is he
that's a whole bunch of
using
drivers to get it
Greg's
working.
app Driver for VR?
Yes.
Okay. I would imagine the hip works good, but the feet don't. That's what I would imagine.
They tend to
That's been
desync a
my
little bit
experience.
sometimes.
Yeah, because I used to I played around with using a Kinect through Driver for VR, and I played with the PlayStation stuff with QR codes and stuff like that. And I mean it was okay, but it was never good enough to where I feel like I wanted to use it all the time. But
Tundra Trackers. Oh yeah, those are announced.
Yeah. One thing I think would be really interesting is if any companies that had inside-out tracking had, say, an extra wide field of view camera that had like a slight angle downward on the front of the headset, because then you could capture waist and foot trackers. You would just have to integrate it.
I don't know
So
why
that way
they
they
don't
could be
just have more
wireless, but-
cameras on the damn headset. Like put
Sure.
2 on the bottom, put
Yeah.
2 on the back, and call it a day. You know,
Even for
get 8
Quest, they
cameras
could
on
have
there.
something that sticks out like just a couple millimeters on the side, and then just have it angled slightly backwards to catch shoulder stuff. Like just little
well,
things like
there's
that. Although it
360
does increase
cams
costs.
too. You know,
That
like,
is
you ever
true.
seen the 360 cams? Like they could put one of those like on top. I'm sure that would get like a lot. Oh.
How high above the head would it need to be placed? You just have like a beacon coming off your head to record all your
like a-
motions.
Well, no, if it was
Beep,
like towards like
beep.
if it was kind of like on the top, like towards the back, like angled like this, like somewhere
Mhm.
like right here, it would get
My sniper might actually
everything
be
above you
steady.
and most of the stuff behind you. Yeah.
VR headsets though, but we can talk about the Deca gear, which is announced. That'll be
I
cool.
have a Deca Move. I just got.
Yeah, you just got that. How's that? Being able to move with your hip instead of your. I mean, you're still getting used to it. Did you use that today?
I didn't use it today
Yeah.
in Pop. I did not use it today, and I did not use it at PPC because when I put it on, I sucked.
You just gotta suck. You just gotta suck for like a week or two, or else you're never gonna get used to it, and then you'll be like, "This
Storm had the
sucks."
same problem, and he said he played for like a week or two with it and never got over it.
Right,
Wait,
but
what are we
always-
talking
but you use hand relative because you're weird. This guy uses hand
I'm
relative.
weird. I
It's like-
know. I'm weird. I use hand relative.
Oh.
So you know, in all
That always
VR
trips me out when I
games.
get into a game. It's got hand relative.
Yeah, I hate it.
I'm like,
Yeah, I'm a weirdo. I use hand relative.
So I think that's why you
Everybody's
think
like,
you'd be
"What?"
the perfect test subject. Just use the Deca
That's why
move.
I want to start using the Deca Move.
Yeah.
It's because I feel like it's made for me.
It is.
But
I'm waiting for the order
'cause I
page
don't
to come
like,
back
I
up.
can't stand walking. If I'm walking and I look right, I can't stand that. I just start going that way.
Well, I think you'll get
Just
used to
glance
like
this
you'll
way
get
while
used to
walking
it.
forward.
You'll get used to like moving your stick to keep moving forward while you're glancing. Just
And the problem with
Yeah,
the
they
Deca
tilt the
Move
opposite
is
direction.
when you're playing and when you're playing a competitive game, you want to be able to look at somebody as quickly as possible. And what would happen is I was walking this way and someone would pop out, right? And I'm used to turning and then immediately like everything orientation wise this way. As opposed to now I'm still walking straight even though I turn towards them and it throws me off completely. So
Isn't it supposed to be the opposite?
what I would have to do is I
non-gamers,
would have to
what-
move more in real life to compensate
What do you
that,
mean
which
by
would slow me
Deca?
down.
I don't know.
So
what
it's
you
this
guys are talking
device that
about.
takes your tracking. So you know how you're normally tracking either your hand or your head. So like when
Yeah.
you're walking, and you look left, your whole body starts moving left. The Deca Move is this device you put on your hip, and it changes it to where the tracking is based off where your hip is orientated.
Instead of your head. So that way you could like look this way, but you'd still be walking that way, and you wouldn't have to like move your controller. Whereas
Ah.
right now, since it always goes with where your head is moving, if you look this way, you have to like adjust with your finger. So
Got it. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
see if it's any good.
In VR chat, it's really nice though, like because it just makes it feel more immersive and like natural.
Yeah,
But in competitive games, I don't know if it feels like it makes me
you're
slower.
you're the test subject. You got to just suck it up for like 2 weeks, and then after the 2 weeks, if it doesn't work, then it's not my problem. So no losses
I'll
for
still
me.
use it. I'm gonna give it a try, but I don't know if it's good for competitive.
I
I
got
think
you.
it might be good for immersion, but maybe not.
I think it's a muscle memory thing. Like, and I think when you get used to it, it might be faster. That's what I'm
I don't
going
know
on.
if it is though, because you literally have to move more, and like if you just do this versus having to move like this, right? It just slows you.
Well, do you
down.
use your stick to turn at all, or do you only turn with your body?
I actually use both at the same time.
Okay.
That way I'm like extra fast.
Yeah, I end up using both sometimes too. So I think because you use both, it'd be okay.
Yeah. Maybe. I'll let you know in 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, you got to suck it up and
And
just use it though.
We'll talk. We'll revisit next podcast or the podcast.
All right,
after.
next podcast. Are there any other cool VR tech things that you guys know about? I think Oculus's hand tracking is pretty nuts. Like if you just have a Quest or something and you don't turn on your controllers, you can control like all of the menus and stuff with just your hand. Like it'll just
Pretty
it
cool.
like perfectly tracks your hand too. It's actually creepy. Like if you turn it on, like it'll like just know every like this. Like you can do all like it would look like this, and you just can control the menus with like thin air and stuff. There's a couple of games that you can do that are like kind of demos. There's no like huge aspects of it, but it's like creepy how well it works. Any other cool VR tech things that you guys have heard about that you're like, that might be cool?
Why can't they use that
Um,
same technology for VTubing? Because it seems like the hand tracking for VTubing, if you're outside of VR, is like not a really good solution for that. There's the Leap,
Mm-hmm.
Leap Motion, but if they could take that technology that Oculus is using, because that's got to be coming from the camera, right?
I think
on
leap
it?
motion is
Yeah.
what's leap motion? Is that you said you wear that like around your neck,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so mine, I clip it to my collar, and then it'll track my hands. Now there's the small version of it, which is like the consumer version. It has a very small field of view, so like I can't raise them any higher than like my chin or like anything in like a 90-degree cone. So basically anything like this is fine, but anything out here wouldn't work. But there is a new version that they have where it's got multiple cameras that actually go on your monitor instead, where it'll see like 120 degrees.
Interesting.
So, but
How far away do you need to be from your computer for that to work? My only issue with that is I sit so close that I would like be like, oh, I might not be seeing my hands if I'm too close. But
It's mostly based on angle. I haven't seen what the detection's like for the larger one. It's basically like just a really long like webcam. It's very short, but it's about like a foot wide.
okay,
But the one that I have, it's like
that sounds like the sounds like the eye tracker. The Tobii eye tracker is like a little bar that just sits under my monitor.
Yeah, it's almost that size. Yeah, I started out with one of those, but I had so many driver issues with it that I switched to just different software entirely in Leap Motion.
Yeah, I had it for my eye tracking, which is cool for like shooters or League of Legends. Just being able to put a little ring exactly where I'm looking. It just ate too much of my CPU to use it. It wasn't worth it.
Mm.
Yeah. Any other cool VR stuff that you guys have heard about? I haven't heard of any games. I haven't heard of. I mean, there's Decagear, which I know barely anything about. But...
Not really new, but true. Yeah, not really super new, but I think Behaptics released a second edition of their vest, which is like $500 instead of $1,500.
Oh, I think Skycandy.
There's a
You have a
couple of
haptic
videos
suit,
before
right?
that.
Is it more motors?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How is
Yeah,
having the
like
haptic
40
suit?
motors.
Yeah, how is that?
Oh, I love it. I love it because I can feel like where the shots are coming from. I can get a sense of how much damage I'm taking.
Did you get
just
sweaty in that?
My vest is getting hit. I just turn I just turn up the AC, I just make it cooler and that, I just have cool air on me the whole time. That seems to work fine. No, I
Gotcha.
don't get really sweaty in it.
That'd be my
Other
number
people
one
I know, I think,
concern.
like DeLuca he wears his without a shirt, so
Woo.
there's that. What was your concern, Sumatchi?
Getting all gross.
Just like if I played like Pop One or like Beat Saber or Pistol Whip. Like I played Pistol Whip for like 20 minutes today and I was sweating because that game is surprisingly fun, but surprisingly way more of a workout than Pop One. Like Pistol Whip has you like,
Oh, yeah.
anything that makes you squat. Like Beat Saber is cool, but Beat Saber doesn't make you get tired playing Beat Saber.
Yeah,
but like,
true.
and if you're playing on one of the maps that like makes you squat or like the workout map that has you like moving around, you'll burn calories. Like you'll start sweating.
I couldn't walk for like a week after playing 2 hours of Pistol Whip the first time.
It's a good one.
My
It's a
legs were
good
so
one.
sore.
It is a very
I
good
played
game.
for like
It's like
2
what
hours
happens when I go to a
straight.
dance
At the
world here
end,
in
I was
Georgia.
collapsing. Like my legs were like, I can't. go
Okay,
anymore.
why can't a company fix this this issue that I'm having with what's it called? Oh yeah, stick drift. Please give me a goddamn controller that doesn't make me stick drift. Valve, I've
This
actually-
one has been terrible for my controllers. I didn't have to replace any of my controllers. I had my headset for a year, and then I got Pop 1, and I've been through like 5 controller sets.
Yeah.
Actually, just got
It's
a new
like
set
crazy.
about
It
3 weeks
breaks
ago.
when you
My
use
first set.
Whoops.
Yeah. Did you have to buy it, or did they RMA for you?
They are made, but they said you're just outside your warranty period, but we'll do this as a favor one time.
Oh, jeez.
They said next time you got
Oh,
to buy it.
nice.
Yeah.
I was like maybe a week out of my warranty period.
For me, they're like, you're out of your warranty period, and your controllers have already been replaced 10 times, so you're going to need to buy a new set. I'm like, yeah, fair enough. Because I actually, like, I have stick drift right now, and this is actually my 11th set of, not, like, I've had, like, you know, my left controller die 8 times, and my right controller die, like, 3 times. Or at least have drift.
Wait,
Yeah.
what kind of headset do you have again, Sumatchi?
This is the Index.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
their
with the
controllers
Index,
are not
there seems to
very
be-
robust.
Yeah, the controllers are they're kind of like considered glass compared to like most other VR controllers, but the headset's fairly solid.
Mhm.
I know several people that have actually dropped
Not
their
the
shoulder
cable.
pads and nothing's wrong with it. But
Not the cable.
yeah, but yeah, no, not the cable. I have had to replace the cable, but then it actually turns out it was actually a bandwidth issue with DisplayPort. So so I have to like lower my monitor refresh rate when I hop in.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Steam VR.
I think
If I'm running at
starting to get the
144,
snow effect.
You're getting
somewhat.
sparkles?
that's what I started getting.
That's what I
Ooh,
had.
That's your
Yeah.
cord. You should
Yeah,
start
probably
the RMA
cord.
process
You get- well,
now
I mean,
because
Well,
maybe
I'm
try
going-
with-
listen, I'm going to Disney World.
Didn't
I'm
he?
going to Disney World in 3 weeks. I'm gonna RMA it while I'm at Disney. That way, I don't have to like be down.
You could try what Reza
for
said.
3
Do you
weeks.
have a higher resolution monitor? Or a high refresh
Or
rate?
refresh rate or both.
Refresh rate, yeah.
on my index?
Oh no, on your actual computer monitor.
No,
No, it's like 60.
Okay, never mind.
okay. Yeah, mine. If I ran my monitor anything higher than 60, so it was fine for like the first 3 weeks, and then I started noticing. So my monitor and my headset were both plugged in DisplayPort, and I started having issues after a few weeks. I was getting the snow, and then during stream, it actually happened 3 times where my headset would just completely black out, and then like 30 seconds later, it would come up. But it wouldn't quit SteamVR or anything, so it still had power, and the USB connection was still there. So that made me think it was video. So I contacted Valve, and then I was talking to they mentioned something about there's a known bandwidth issue with certain monitors, and mine was one of them. So I contacted Samsung. They're like, yeah, we'll have to wait for DisplayPort Foundation to actually release like 2.1 or something
Oh, why
for
weird.
that to be fixed. But yeah.
Remember when there was
That also do with certain motherboards. Type
Yeah,
thing?
that can definitely have an effect. I have only had AMD systems since I've gotten my headset last year, but yeah.
remember
sure.
when
It was actually a DisplayPort limitation, like on like the actual technology itself. Not like because my GPU is not strong enough. It's the actual connector
I
type
see
doesn't
what
have enough
you mean.
bandwidth to do it all.
remember when Virtual Link was a thing or going to be a thing for graphics cards and everything? You just know
Oh
about?
yeah. It's
They were
like
gonna
supports
they were
other
gonna
cards, yeah.
put like a Type C connector specifically for the focus being VR or intention to be VR,
Yeah.
where they could have a port in your graphics card for VR, and then it just died. They're like, hey, look at this cool feature that's coming, and then never mind. Change
That was on
hands.
a lot of
I
2080s.
remember.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody's moving to Quest.
That's true.
Standalone.
Everybody wants to be
Nobody's worried
standalone.
About PC VR.
There's not a
It's like
cable to
port
break.
games to us, but we're not gonna get games made for PC very much.
Yeah,
It's all gonna be ports.
yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah.
But maybe we can have
VR chat will
the.
always be better on PC, I think.
But maybe we can still have the
Because it's
ability to
user content.
play with PC users. Like PCV or standalone Quest will be its own console, like PlayStation or Xbox. But then PC VR will be look at these games like Rec Room, VR Chat, Risk of Rain that you can play with PC people, but in VR. I think that's probably what it'll end up going to.
I think kind of going back to like getting people into VR. I think when PlayStation VR comes out,
Hmm.
like the second one, it's actually good because trying to run VR on the old PlayStation with like the really bad tracking, like I think a lot of people had really bad first experience with VR, and I think
Yeah.
even the people buying Quest now, they get an experience of, oh wow, this is amazing, but then they're like, wait a minute, there's not enough game because not everybody's sitting
Yeah.
here playing Pop. VR chat has it's kind of shallow on Quest compared to
Mhm.
PC.
Definitely.
True.
So
Yeah, a lot
I
of
think
things just
people-
don't render.
I think some people's quests are going to be collecting dust if they don't have more game.
Hmm. I did get to use my
That's
Quest
possible.
on. I got to use my Quest when I went on the plane. When I went to Seattle this past weekend.
Oh,
And when I got on the plane, I put on my Quest, and the games that I played were Thumper, the like rhythm or the music game. It's kind of like a weird horror music game, but it's kind of funny. And then I played Tetris Effect. So I was just like sitting there, didn't have to move my hands at all.
The music in that version of Tetris is so good.
Right?
I'm gonna hit the person next to me. I know I would. I just like
The games that I was playing, you don't have to move your arms. Like it's basically like you're basically in a movie theater, or like having your own personal space. Is what it felt like. Because you could watch a movie on a plane, right? You can
Camellia songs on it.
Just start screaming, there's snakes!
My friend and I were saying how bad that would be. It's like, all right, yeah, I'll go get the bomb. Yeah, we'll plant the bomb. All right, yeah, there's some terrorists behind us. It's like, yeah, this would be bad on a plane. No. So, yeah, it was a cool experience, though. But yeah, I think is anybody in chat have any questions or anything they want to add? Let's see. Or anything you guys want to
meditate on
talk?
chat.
Yeah. All controllers get stick drift as they age. True, but like I had Xbox 360 controllers that never gave me drift. I had PlayStation controllers and like my trigger broke on my PlayStation controller before I got drift, and I played Rocket League and Devil May Cry. And...
But not as bad as Index and Switch. I think Index.
Oh yeah, the Switch.
Like,
I think the Index and Switch probably use the same goddamn thumbsticks, and that's why they both suck.
They probably do. There was, yeah, they both, especially if you click them in, like the default mute for VR chat, at least for Index, or it used to be like you had to click your stick in. I had to change that to the A button? Yeah, because I was gonna wear out the stick too fast. Although there was an article that I read that Valve is advertising on the Steam Deck that they've completely made their own sticks from the ground up, and they said they should never have drift ever. So
starting when
set is probably
starting when
sticks.
So
starting when? Oh, the new Index? New Index? Did I hear new Index? New Index?
Well, I mean, at some point they've got to make one.
I've seen all the patents and everything. I just need them to announce it so I can buy it. As it'll all be sold out within an hour of them announcing it or less. Like the Index was.
With the Steam Deck, they said, or it was quoted that someone from Valve said that they're confident that the Steam Deck will never have drift, which
that's a cool thing that's come out is the Steam Deck, the Steam version of the Switch. You guys heard about that? There's like a Steam version of a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
You can basically play computer games. Oh, right on.
Yeah, I actually before that came out. Do you know the company GPD Win?
Yes, I have one of their small laptops.
I had a Win Max.
Okay.
You know what the Win Max is?
I do.
Okay, I had one of those, and I bought it to play Destiny on the go. Destiny was incompatible with the processor.
Oh,
so
rip.
I ended up selling it.
No. Really? It ran like an i7, didn't it? Or was it like an older version?
I can't. No. It was. They've only done. I think they've only done one Win Max right now. They're coming out with the Win Max 2, but.
Oh right,
no,
right,
it was
right.
just
Yeah,
incompatibility.
You're right.
Yeah, it was just an incompatibility with that. It was actually the newest integrated.
Oh, that's right, because it runs Iris graphics, the Iris Pro.
Right,
that's right.
right. The one teraflop integrated.
Gotcha.
So it was powerful. It just didn't have updated drivers, and Intel is turning into a shit company. They won't fix.
Speaking of Destiny, that's one downside so far of the Steam Deck, that Valve said that Destiny and some other really popular games, like multiplayer games, will not run on Steam Deck because of the compatibility layer issues, because it's running Linux, like their own in-house version. I think it's like KDE or XDE or something that they're running.
So it might have the same problem that Win Max did.
Yes. Well,
we'll see if Destiny works.
It's not because of a hardware limitation. It's because it's running Linux, and it doesn't have some of the Microsoft certified driver packs and things like that you would need for that. However, they did say that it'll run Windows 11. So. Oh
yeah, remember when Windows 10 was supposed to be the last one? Like, this is the last one we're doing.
I think it would run it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it lies, right?
They actually stated that after Windows 10, the new version was just going to be called Windows, and then they were just going to have like
Windows 10 is the last one. We're just done with numbers. There's still going to be more. We're just done with numbers.
Yeah.
We're going to do letters now.
Yep.
They should have went to Windows 10.2 or Windows.
No, this isn't
10.8.
Final Fantasy. Get out of here.
And it would
Windows
be
10,
terrible. No,
2021.
it'd be terrible. But
Jeez. Let's see. We got
Apple does. Just
Windows
depend the
is
year
terrible
after everything.
sometimes.
any good, or you can install Windows on Steam Deck, according to EXO.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
So
Yeah.
maybe you could just do that and then
But
load
that doesn't
Destiny
mean
from
it's
that.
still- Then will it
You may.
work with the with whatever drivers are on that processor?
Someone said, any good
It
VR,
probably will.
any good VR multi-shooter games to play without a squad? Any good solo shooters to play that are multiplayer?
That was one good thing about Larcenauts.
Yeah.
I noticed
Yep.
a lot of like younger kids that just like want some mindless, like kind of sort of like Overwatch type fun. I noticed a lot of kids seem to have fun playing Larcenauts. So
That's a good one. I honestly can't think of any other ones because Pavlov's. I mean, you could join deathmatch or team deathmatch in Pavlov. It's not as serious, but the majority of lobbies in Pavlov are like search and destroy. Onward's way too much thought process. Veil's going to be highly competitive, but I guess there's not one you can kind of just join solo. But for the most part, I don't think shooters are. I guess COD maybe because you join a deathmatch and you just run around, but.
I mean, Pavlov's like that sometimes.
Yeah, and the
It's just,
deathmatch
like,
lobbies
not
and
very
things.
accessible.
I guess a lot of
You
people
always
spend a
end
lot
up
of
with somebody
time.
shooting you, or
Yeah, a lot of people spend time in TTT for Pavlov,
Mhm.
VR Among Us.
it's just not. It's just
Does
like, it's not
Population
quite
1
accessible
need
to
an Among
everybody.
Us mode?
Ooh.
Wow, that's
TTT.
awkward silence.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'd be
Heard
cool.
about that.
I mean, the custom lobbies, people are coming up with all these creative games to play that are a lot of fun. So I
Yeah.
could really see something like that taking off in Population 1.
Yeah.
You know, if the devs gave us some more toys and custom lobbies, but they can't even make lobbies not crash. So
Yeah. One step at a time. Because we were able to play
Yeah, like, if
zombies
they
for
gave
like
us-
2 hours on Tuesday. It was pretty fun.
if they gave us some more modifiers in the settings to where you could make more interesting zombies type game modes, like I'm sure there's some modifiers you could think of that would make zombies mode more fun.
Or if you could make it like the Forge from Halo, where you could use the build tiles to make maps,
Oh yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
could just have things happen. That'd be cool. Or like some sort of Forge for
Like
Top
the
1. That'd
build
be cool.
tiles are permanently part of the map, and that's like your version of the
Mhm.
map.
That'd be
They
cool.
don't break.
Yeah. I think the number one concern for that would be giving people on Quest a way to do it. Because you wouldn't want to like limit it
There's
to
like, a
just
limited
PC
number
or
of
something.
tiles.
I
Yeah.
guess, but you
Just
still have
like limit
to
your tiles.
like a lot of like
Or they have to call a lot of resources. Like when you're not looking at it,
They
you
could
would really
cut
have
the
to
map
de-render
down.
it and just deload it.
yeah,
You know how they cut the map down for Team Deathmatch? They could
Oh,
do
true.
that.
yeah, and then just let you build in that small section. That could be good.
But
Yeah.
you'd be doing like 3v3s, stuff like that in it. You wouldn't be doing full
Yeah,
match.
because the way that PC works is, you know, Hammer editor or whatever map editors, Warcraft 3 had editors, but you'd be able to load that in a separate program and then work on it, and then, you know, put it in the right folder and load it in later. But people playing on Quest don't have the PC aspect; it's all standalone. So
Right.
maybe that's where they'll head next. But I'm excited for the next
Yeah.
or the mode next week. I don't see anybody else asking anything in chat. Do you guys have anything else you want to add or any other cool stuff to talk about? Skycandy, anything? Chilling.
Nope.
All set.
Nope, it's been fun as always.
chillin'.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're good to go then. We'll call it there for this week. But thanks everybody for joining.
Stay
And
long.
we will.
Thanks for
Oh, yours was off the whole time, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Damn it, again?
yeah.
Yo, I made
But
it
you didn't
the
crash.
whole-
You
the
didn't
whole
crash today.
podcast. I didn't crash.
Yeah,
I
You
didn't show
did
up late.
crash.
The past two, he's crashed out of. All right.
You got an A.
Oh no.
You got an A. Well, thanks everybody for watching.
Look at these thumbs.
Drink water. Okay, Dirk says everybody drink water.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, will do.
Terrible thumb. Terrible
Bye-bye.
thumbs.
Oh, you're in a clan.
SSJ, which they changed their name to Cryptic. Like, oh, dude, that's a horrible name. It's like super cringe.
Super confusing.
But you know, Cryptic, sure, whatever.
Get it? Confusing because cryptic. All right, so some people might
Oh, but
Yeah,
I'm
it's,
people might join halfway through. I have
They
my
spelled it with a K too.
Oh, now it's a gang. Do they have like a hand sign that like when they meet each other in Pop 1 they do like a gang sign when they see each other or something?
We're gonna work on. We're gonna
We're gonna work on it.
good at it.